Welcome time travelers, and welcome new time travelers. As always, if you're new to this channel and enjoy learning about history one event at a time, then don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today we're going to start out in 1838 when the Great Western, the earliest regular transatlantic steamer, embarked on its maiden voyage from Bristol, England to New York City. Our next stop will be in 1853 when German philosopher Edmund Husserl, founder of the phenomenology, was born. I want to say phenomenology is the study of paranormal, the paranormal, like ghosts and whatnot. 1912 is when Sonja Henie, a Norwegian-American figure skater who won the World Amateur Championship for women in 10 consecutive years from 1927 to 1936, and 3 gold medals in the Winter Olympic Games in 1927, 1932, and 1936, was born. The following year, in 1913, the 17th Amendment, which called for the direct election of U.S. senators by voting of the states, was ratified. Moving on to 1920, when Venus de Milo, an ancient statue commonly thought to represent Aphrodite, was found in pieces on the Aegean island of Malos. It was later reconstructed and put on display in Louvre, Paris. Our next stop will be in 1941 when British fashion designer Vivienne Westwood, who, with her partner Malcolm McLaren, extended an influence of the 1970s punk music movement into fashion, was born. 9 years later, in 1950, Jawaharlal Nehru. I'm not sure if I am pronouncing that correct. If I'm not, I'm sorry. They were of India, concluded the Dali Pact with Liaquat Ali Khan of Pakistan, providing for safe passage of refugees displaced after the two countries severed relations in December of 1949. In 1956, at Parris Island, South Carolina, during a military maneuvers in a swamp, 6 U.S. Marines drowned. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if they changed their military maneuvers, or if they made it mandatory that they learned how to swim. The person that I would normally ask was my grandfather. However, my grandfather had passed away a few months ago. So if anyone has any idea as to if they changed that, let me know in the comments. Moving on to 1973, when Pablo Picasso, perhaps the most influential artist of the 20th century, passed away at the age of 91. The following year, in 1974, American baseball player Hank Aaron hits his 715th career home run, breaking Babe Ruth's record, which has stood since 1935, and in 1976 completed his career with 755 home runs. I forget who exactly it was, but there was a gentleman who, I think it was either school or like a high school, college, or if it was professional, there was a basketball like title that one guy was one shot or like one free throw away from breaking the previous record, and the guy decided, I'm not breaking this record belongs to him. And I think that person that the record belonged to passed away. I want to say it was a college record, and the person had passed away. I'm not quite sure. If anyone has any idea, let me know in the comments. Moving on to 1979, when the final episode of All in the Family aired on CBS, one of the TV's most successful sitcoms. It was known for its frank and satirical treatment of such topics as race, gender, sex, and bigotry. 1990 brought us two events. The first event is the first episode of Twin Peaks aired on television, and it won critical acclaim and a cult following with its unconventional narrative, surreal tone, and eerie characters. And the second event is Ryan White, who became a national symbol of the United States after he contracted AIDS from a blood-borne transfusion given to treatment of his hemophilia, passed away at the age of 18. 2003 is when it was reported that Springtails Columbo, long thought to be among the oldest ancestors of insects, did not evolve as insects, but rather evolve from a separate group that was formed even before the crustaceans and insects diverged. And if you get a chance, Google springtails. They look creepy. Anyway, 2013 brought us British politician Margaret Thatcher, who was the United Kingdom's and Europe's first woman prime minister from 1979 to 1990, and the only British prime minister of the 20th century to win 3 consecutive terms, passed away at the age of 87. And on this day, most practitioners of Buddhism in Japan celebrate the birth of the Buddha, who lived in India sometime between the 6th and 4th century BCE and founded Buddhism. And with that, we return to 2024 and our current history. Until next time.